Picture this. You've teamed up with a few pals from Newgrounds for Ludum Dare 47. You make a little rhythm game in 48 hours. It has a decent to average reception. You and your team work to make a better version of Jam Game and release it for free on itch.io. 6 months later, your game is one of the most talked about games on the internet. You have millions of fans, top streamers are praising your game, and thousands of community created fan videos. Your game is an internet sensation and its success keeps growing by the day. There will never be another indie game story quite like Friday Night Funkin'. This game's development story is video game history in the making, and without doubt will be remembered as a modern classic, alongside Five Nights at Freddy's and Hollow Knight. But what sets Friday Night Funkin' apart from its contemporaries is just how the game got to where it is now. In this video, we will look at some of the background behind Friday Night Funkin', reasons for the game's explosive success, and what the future holds for funking.
3, 2, 1, go!
Friday Night Funkin' is a rhythm game created by Ninja Muffin, Phantom Arcade, Kawaii Sprite, and Evil Skater. The 4 creators have their names flash up every time the game boots up. You play as Boyfriend, yes, that's his name, who's trying to kiss and be happy with your girlfriend, that's also her name. The game's original premise is that you have to defeat girlfriend's dad in a rap battle, and the dad happens to be an ex-rock star. This premise was used for the Ludum Dare prototype, and this became the first level for the game. And then the game started changing direction. All of the developers are from Newgrounds, and Friday Night Funkin' was a love letter to the site. The second level featured Skid and Pump, characters from popular Halloween web cartoon Spooky Month, which was created by Newgrounds legend Senor Pello. The developers contacted Pello to collaborate on this level, and so Week 2 Spooky Month was born. Another notable collaboration is that the game is made in collaboration with Newgrounds itself. The dev team worked with Tom Fulp, and essentially it looks like Newgrounds acts like their publisher, extending from marketing to making Week 7 a timed exclusive on Newgrounds only. The game grew in popularity like a snowball. Word of mouth to itch.io's front page, to YouTubers being told by fans to play it, to YouTubers making other YouTubers play it, more people playing and creating community mods and fan content, and the fan base growing in the millions. This all culminated in an insanely successful Kickstarter campaign. When Week 7 was released on Newgrounds, everyone wanted to play it so much the site crashed. This one game took down the entirety of Newgrounds. The site of course upgraded the infrastructure, and finally people got to play it. And once you beat Week 7, you are greeted with a special video, the Kickstarter trailer for the full game. This was their Kickstarter launch, and it clearly worked, with the goal being reached in 15 minutes and $1 million reached in 4 days. And now you're up to speed on what this game is and the scale of its success. Let's look at the reasons behind its success and the lessons learned from them. Why were they successful? First things first, the game is good. It has a fun, addictive gameplay loop, which is pretty self-explanatory to anyone who's ever played a rhythm game before. But most importantly, the game brings you in with its character. The art style is charming, the game is full of pleasing humour, and the music is incredible. You'll play a level and have the song stuck in your head for the rest of the week. As well as how fun the aesthetics are, the character designs are pretty unique. This is important for any work of art. A character design which could be so easily recognised is something that will help with your game's awareness massively. And keeping design simple and easy to replicate is something useful to keep in mind, as we will see later. So lesson 0 of the game's success: make a good game. Make pleasing art, addictive gameplay, spectacular music, make your game good. Why else were they successful? Nostalgia. Much of Friday Night Funkin' pulls at people's desire for a time gone. Newgrounds was at the top in the 2000s. Within the last 10 years, the site slowly disappeared into relevancy. People migrated to other networks and the site was only ever brought up in conversations about that era. But Friday Night Funkin' took people who used to go on Newgrounds as a teen back down memory lane with its cartoony, paint-like art style, very much reminiscent of the cartoons popular on Newgrounds at the time. And of course, people were enthused by seeing popular Newgrounds characters appear back on their screens after many years. So lesson 1. When making a game, make sure you have an audience. It could be as specific or different as you would see fit. And in Funkin's case, it was millennials who missed the old days of Newgrounds. Find your target audience for your game. And this leads on to the next reason for success: collaboration. Senor Pello and Tom Fulp, creative Newgrounds, were already mentioned, but others have also collaborated on the game. Bassett Films collaborated for Lemon Demon, Johnny Utah collaborated for Tankman in Week 7, and Mowling did the pixel art for Week 6, coinciding with Newgrounds' Pixel Day event. With this in mind, 4 out of the 7 levels currently available have been made in collaboration with other creators, and these levels are some of the most fan-favorited. Collaboration brings new ideas to the table and embraces new styles of creativity. So lesson 2, game devs should try to work together, collaborate. It doesn't have to be getting someone else to guest make a level with you, but it can be sharing work and asking for feedback and offering advice back too. This collaboration breeds new ideas, and without it, special moments would not be created. Friday Night Funkin' has many mistakes turn into standout moments. For instance, when Johnny Utah couldn't stop laughing while doing Tankman's voice lines, instead of retaking the lines and cutting out the laughs were kept in and animated into Tankman's character. This resonated with the fans as they felt the character was more real and likable. Friday Night Funkin' is open source. Yes, you heard me correctly. What year is it? How can an original game be open source in 2021? Well, the game is free to be fair, but even then, there are many free games, but most of them are not open source. And because of Week 7's exclusivity, people actually started pirating it. It's so popular that people are pirating a free game. But of course, the open source deal has done a lot more good than bad, because open source allows for easier modding. And boy, does this fanbase love mods. Think about it, this game has 7 levels, it takes about 3 minutes per level, about 20 minutes to finish the whole game, and a few hours if you want to get real good at it. But then you're done. You won't play it until the next update because you've run out of content. Good thing the community has made so many mods that you'll never have that problem. Some mods are even so popular that they have gathered fan bases of their own. Fans draw art of original characters from mods of this game. So lesson learned, lesson 3. Consider community contribution. You don't have to make your game free or open source, but at least think about modding a game. If your game is not very long and fairly sandbox, it might be a good idea to add mod support and promote community creations. Having a moddable game brings more possibilities into your game and will also bring more players who would want to try out those possibilities. Community. Okay, I've just talked about mods, but that is not all the community does. This fanbase creates fan art, animations, fan games, fictions, sketches, any media you could think of for Friday Night Funkin'. Yeah, this is bound to happen when a game gets super popular, but the devs played some clever strategies to help it along. In the source code of the game, there is a readme titled do not readme.txt. Now in this text file, under permissions xddd, the developers give explicit permission to the player to use the assets however they wish. You can make YouTube videos using the music, you can make memes using the art, make anything you want. And people did. While people would have made memes with or without permission, the allowing of music use is really something great, especially if you're a YouTuber or streamer and you don't want to get hit by copyright claims. The fan base come out with crazy creations every day on YouTube which garner millions of views. But all of this led up to a community-centered event that takes place every year on May the 1st, Pico Day. Pico Day was created in 2006 by Tom Falk on his birthday. It's a Newgrounds event where people can enter a fan-made work of Pico, renowned Flash game character and Newgrounds mascot, into a contest for a chance to win some money. Not a lot of money though. Pico Day has been declining in recent years and as Pico's popularity declined, but with the spiky kid being brought into Friday Night Funkin', he is famous once again. And this year's Pico Day was one of the biggest ever. Hashtag Pico Day 2021 was trending on Twitter as people posted fan art after fan art, flooding the site with Pico and Tagman and other Newgrounds drawings. This event certainly stirred up the community and brought more fans together. So lesson 4, embrace your community. Do not be the type of developer to send a cease and desist to someone who just wants to make a free fan game. Welcome fan art and memes and music licensing, because in this day and age, memes can be the strongest form of advertising. So the fans love the game, but they also love the development team, and not without good reason. The developers know how best to act with the fans. Social. The developers keep being active in the community and interact with the fan base regularly. They also make their personalities known from their social media updates, conducting Reddit Q&As and even injecting a little of it into the game itself. Every time the game starts up, you are greeted with the developers' names in a funny tagline, and not even kidding, I've never had the same tagline twice and I played the game a lot. The developers are kind to their fans, going on stream to show off sneak previews of the game's future updates and doing Q&As, and overall being very down to earth. Phantom Arcade on Twitter ran a thread for drawing fans' original Tankman characters, hence boosting the concept of Tank Sona. Even in the game's Kickstarter, there are many jokes. Joke stretch goals, joke updates, jokes hidden in the game's pitch, and the fans love it as they get to see more of the team's personality. Lesson 5. Be social. Interact with your audience. If you are kind to your community, they will repay you. And finally, let's rewind back to the start. Friday Night Funkin' started as a Ludum Dare game. Hundreds of games are created each Ludum Dare, so why did this one blow up? It didn't win or even get that many ratings, because the devs knew how to use Ludum Dare to its full potential. Now, when it comes to indie devs and Ludum Dare, most devs see the event as a way to show off their skills. They will do the compo and stretch out their art, design and music composition skills, put together a functional game in 48 hours. Smart, right? Well, it depends. If you genuinely want a challenge, want to test yourself and see what you can come up with under a lot of pressure and constraints, do the compo. You can get a fairly good YouTube devlog out of it. But if you want this Ludum Dare to be your time to shine, to show off what you can do and create that game idea you never got around to before, don't do the compo. Stop doing the compo. You are handicapping yourself for no reason. Instead of a game done by a solo dev in a short space of time, Friday Night Funkin' was made by a team of people, each with different skills in different areas, in a slightly less short space of time. The team utilised Ludum Dare perfectly by opting to go for the jam. The jam acts as a showcase for indie games. Yes, the game needs to be made within a time limit, but liberties can be taken with it and the theme is up for interpretation. And that game will be shown to hundreds, maybe thousands of people. It better be good. If you do the compo and make an average game, it will likely be shelved and marked as prototype on your itch.io. If you do the jam and make a really creative and polished game, you might pick up the project in future and turn that prototype into a demo like Friday Night Funkin'. The better your jam prototype is, the more motivated you will be to continue with it, so why limit yourself? Lesson 6. Stop misusing Ludum Dare. Maximize your game's potential, don't limit yourself. So what does the future hold? With the Kickstarter well funded and stretched, the team have a lot on their plates. Especially Kawaii Sprite, the game's composer, having to write well over 60 new songs for the full game. Hopefully he doesn't burn out, but this is a lot of work for anybody, and I hope the team bring on board new composers and collaborators. Really, to make the full game a success, the team need to continue doing what they have been already. being open, down-to-earth devs, keeping the game proudly in its Newgrounds roots, and work with other creators for fun cameo levels. Bring aboard more Newgrounds creators, even collaborate with the Friday Night Funkin' community modders. I wouldn't be surprised if Witty was in the full game. Will Friday Night Funkin' stick around? Yes, in the same way that Undertale's fandom is still strong today. Will Newgrounds face a revival? That's unclear. While Newgrounds will attract a newer audience, it isn't guaranteed that the site will be brought back to relevancy. Newgrounds was a place for people to upload their own media work without limits, but that never really vanished, it just evolved. For now, the community will look on Friday Night Funkin' as a modern indie success story, and watch the game progress with deep interest. Funkin' on many Friday nights to come. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe. A lot of work went into this one, so I'd really appreciate it. If you want to play Friday Night Funkin', the Newgrounds link is in the description, but please be warned, it is an adult game. I cannot recommend you play it if you're under the age of 18. Have a great day and see you next time.